I will say that Globetrotters game was really fun. I mean, I didn't expect otherwise, but it was a good time.
That's cool. Did Wei win ticket?
He did. He had a good time. He really enjoyed it. His cousins were there, so he got to play with them, and they were all watching together. His cousins really enjoyed it as well, and they don't really like basketball that much, but they were highly entertained. In fact, my niece repeatedly told me that this was much better than regular basketball.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. But, she's in choir. What is she now?
Nerd.
She did put on a nice choral performance a couple weeks ago. But it was fun. It was fun, and they put on a good show. And some of the things that blew the kids' minds. So that was fun.
Like what was something that blew Waywin's mind?
Well, all the kids towards the end they do, spoiler alert, I guess, but they are. I think I'd seen this before, but they argue. The ref makes a wrong call, and then so they rewind the whole play, and then they play it back in slow motion, and everyone goes in reverse.
Okay.
And then they play a whole scene out in slow motion.
That's pretty cool.
And the coolest thing about it was they did the wave. Like, they had directed the fans to do the wave. We did the wave, and then when we had to do the wave in slow motion. So it was cool. It was very fun. Clever. I would recommend going. But yeah, it was good for everybody.
Just to see those Washington Generals get their comeuppance.
They put in a 4-point line, which one of the guys on the General hit a couple of them. He was not shy about taking them, and he was hitting them.
Does he not know what team he plays for? Does he not understand the assignment?
Well, they still lost the game, but he got his numbers.
Yeah, he's a good stats, bad team guy.
Yeah. Best stats, worst team.
Could the Washington Generals beat the Washington Wizards?
Good question. Is there a 4-point line?
Sure.
No, then 100%.
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect. Yeah, so just prepare to...
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
That train is off the track.
I feel like you can't just like jump through Neptune and be okay.
Just prepare to...
What the show needs is more dogs and bears and chickens and stuff.
Yeah, so just prepare to be awash in unbeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You are listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. This is episode 743, coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials. This show, we've got a boomerang, we've got some French fun facts, and we'll be looking to hand out some mid-season awards for the Pacers. Joining me this show are two of our three analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from the high school home of Jameson Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland, it's the doctor, Jason Triplett.
What is up, Pacers fans? What is up, Undebeatables? Shout out to January. Oh, January.
I think that's about fair. It's cold. I'm over it. From Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks and the crappy jingles. It's the linen one, John Colson.
Bonjour. Je m'appelle Jean. Fermez la bouche. It's all I remember from French class. It means shut your mouth. I think that's what my French teacher used to always say.
Before we get into the show, I just want to remind listeners that they can support us, the longest running Pacers podcast, by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables. And you can support our show for as little as $1 per month. Merci.
Doch Leon.
I took German, so I don't know what you just said there. All right, well, to kick this show off, as you may know, the Pacers are heading to France to play 2 games against the San Antonio Spurs, including Victor Wembanyama. So we wanted to do a boomerang, and Jason has one for us this week, right?
A bango, HL baby. I do, yeah. In honor of the Pacers going to France, I thought it would be fun if we tried to figure out who are the top scoring NBA French players of all time. So I need you to name the top 10 people with French affiliations. These are the guys that you think of as French. Some were born in like Guadeloupe, but are French. And notable caveat: if you look up the list of NBA players born in France and their points, the number 1 guy is Dominique Wilkins. Apparently, Dominique, born in Paris, France.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I would not have picked him on the top 10 French scorers.
Just had a birthday, actually. Yeah, but he's essentially American. I mean, he grew up in America. So, yeah, he's off the list.
Okay.
But there are other French guys, and I have confidence that you guys can get this.
Really? Okay, so we know
There's
most
not
of these
that
guys.
many French guys, and you've heard of them all.
Okay.
So. All right, so let's let Joey go first.
Well, I know I mentioned Tony Parker last show, so I'll start with him.
Tony
He's gotta be
Parker,
on the
number
list.
1.
Well done, Joe.
19,473 points. Technically, Tony Parker is Belgian.
What?
Born in Belgium, but played for the French national team. And we think of him as French.
Is he?
Yeah, that's why he was on the Belgian pop charts.
That's right.
That's right.
It all comes back together. Okay.
All right, Coulson.
Boris Diaw.
Boris Diaw, number 5.
Woo!
9,139 points. Boris Diaw.
Joey's tapped out.
Joey.
Yeah, I have.
Think of large human beings.
Large what?
Humans.
Large human beings. Like even larger than large.
So Shaquille sounds French. Oh man.
Maybe think
there's
defense.
Oh, well, we'll do. What's his head? The guy on the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy.
I can see his face.
Yep.
And
He gave everybody COVID.
Yep.
he did. Rudy Gobert,
Well
There you
done.
go, Gobert. All right, number 3.
the GoBot.
He's the
Little over
GoBot.
10,000 points he's scored so far in his career.
Oh, well, so he's 3, huh?
Yeah, he's 3. Yep.
Who's 2 then? Because the only other, the guy I'm thinking of right now is Michael Pietras.
You got it, Michael Pietras.
Was he number
He's
2?
not number 2,
Okay.
but scored 4,629. That's 6th on my French list
On your French
of
list.
NBA players. Joey. Let's see.
I may need to.
There's a couple former Pacers on this team.
Well,
on
so
this
the
list.
one I was thinking of was our backup center. Who was that?
Oh, yeah.
Played behind Hibbert.
Yeah.
I just remember that I have like a GIF stuck in my head of the entry pass that just went out of bounds.
So yeah, he used to play in the Yankadari Cup.
That's right.
Yes. My memory is apparently fried.
He played against Hansborough.
Yeah. No, I remember, again, what he looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And everything about him except his name.
All right, I'll give you partial credit.
Okay.
Jan
Yes.
Mahinmi.
That's my guy.
Jan Mahinmi, 7th on this list. 3,209 points he scored.
And not an offensive juggernaut, so...
That means there's not a lot of
didn't
French
expect
people.
him to see him on here, no.
Yeah.
Colson.
Did you say we had a couple on this?
Yeah, there's at least one other former Pacer. Brief stint with the Pacers. You might not remember it. But there's one obvious guy you guys can...
Well, Kevin Serafin was French.
There you go. That's the one.
Nice. Snakes.
8th. Yeah, Kevin Serafin and his Snakes. That's right. 2,516 points in his NBA career.
Wow, and he's top 10?
He is top 10 indeed. Yeah.
Right. Joe, I think there's... Yeah, knowing that the 2,000 is top 10, you might be able to get one of these guys.
Yeah.
I may need to collaborate with you on this one, Cole.
Well, these... I'm...
Why do you think that the Pacers are playing a game in France this year?
For Wembanyama?
Yes,
that's right.
Wembanyama, Victor
He's
Wembanyama.
already a top
9th
10
on this list already.
Wow.
With 2,381 points as of yesterday.
Can you give me
Seems good.
a hint for the number 2 guy?
Number two guy most famous for punching a dude in the balls. In international basketball, no less.
Most famous for that, huh?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
He, I believe he's won titles, probably. Has he won titles? Nickname Boom Boom.
Nicholas Batum. Boom,
Nicholas
boom,
Batum.
Batum. Well done. Sorry, I didn't have that.
11,077 points. All right, Joseph, we got 2 left. 4 and 10. 4 is gettable. This guy, let's see, he played for the Orlando Magic and the New York Knickerbockers, probably most famously. It's a little guy, shooter, guy from the outside, somewhat balding.
Oh. Yeah. Boy, this is not...
Is it
What do you got,
Nicky
Cole?
Smokes?
Nicky Smokes? No, he has not. Frank Nicolina has not scored enough points to make it on
Frank
this.
Nicolina, that's what it is. I don't think I have this.
Yeah, he's killed the Pacers in the past.
Oh no.
He it's lit us up, and we're like, why does this guy always light us up?
Oh no. I'll be real mad when I hear it, aren't I?
You got nothing, Joey?
No, I got nothing.
Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier, fourth on the
That
list.
is such a French name too.
9,607 points. And then the number 10 spot, it's a dude you have definitely heard of. Played for the Lakers for a long time. Big guy, kind of like a 8th man off the bench, bruiser kind of guy.
Is it Sacre Bleu? What's his name?
Sacre bleu.
Clearly not. There's a guy. There's a backup sitter at LA whose last name was somebody Sacre. Wasn't he French?
Oh yeah, I remember that. No, it's not that dude.
Big dude.
Yeah, I can't. Let me Google him real quick and I'll see if he has any other things that he's
Known for.
known for. He played for the Warriors for a while. Let's see, he played for multiple teams. Played for the Lakers, the Warriors, the Knicks, the Wizards, the Heat, the Clippers.
Oh wow,
the T-Wolves.
He's a journeyman.
Yeah, no, but played what is that? 13 years in the league. Yeah.
Wow.
10 years in the league.
This little known fact: Dominique Wilkins, born in France.
Yeah. Nailed it. Number 1.
I got nothing.
All right, it's Roni Turioff.
Oh yeah,
2,000.
Definitely heard of some Turioff.
9 points. And it was very lucky that made the 10th list, because beyond that, I would not have been able to give you hints for some of these guys. So there you have it.
Well,
Top 10.
well done. I feel like we did
Frenchy
okay. I
guys.
was proud of Beatrice
Yep.
and Joe.
Yeah, that was a good pull.
Yeah,
That was a
Joe,
good
I
pull.
was unimpressed.
Yeah, well, I try to stay in the present.
I mean, yeah,
try
but
to live in the moment.
But yeah, getting women Rama was like trying to pull teeth. Is all I'm saying. He's currently playing.
But in Joey's defense, he hasn't been playing that long. Usually these lists are dudes that have been in the league forever.
That's true.
So.
The fact that
But to crack the top 10, all you got to do is barely get over 2,000 points. So
I'm thinking about moving over to France now.
There you go, and then joining the NBA after that.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how it works.
So you're gonna get French
I'll let
citizenship, join the NBA, get on this list. It's
then-
profit, I think.
Profit right there.
Yeah.
Boom. You know how this works.
Yeah, when you're
This
the
guy gets it.
when you're the free throw specialist for the French national team. Speaking of that, I've got some fun facts about France and basketball. Do you guys know anything about the French and the basketball?
I know the top
Yamahimi,
10
I know.
scorers.
Yeah. Dominique Wilkins, Shaquille O'Neal. I was paying attention.
So France has they've won 2 bronze medals in the FIBA World Cup, both pretty recently, 2014 and 2019. And do you want to guess how many medals they have in the Olympics?
3.
I'll say 4.
4 is correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
1948, 2000.
That's the one people forget.
It is 2000, 2020, and 2024. Every year they've medaled, they got a silver medal.
Wow.
Their largest defeat in Olympic history. Can you who beat them for their?
The United States.
That is correct.
Gotta be U.S.
It was 120 to 62. So that was a bad beat for France. That was in 1984. However, their biggest victory of margin was against Austria in 1947. That's not Olympics. Whatever. The French team's largest victory ever was against Austria in Prague in 1947. Anybody want to guess what the final score was?
Prague, 1947. I remember it well. When I say 87 to 35.
Okay. France got 100 points.
Whoa.
Joe, would you like to guess how much Austria got?
I'll say they had 42 points.
They had 6 points.
What?
6. Hot 06.
So shout out France. That was good.
No mercy.
Also,
That isn't. No, never mind. That was not a fun.
I mean, yeah, both those countries decimated by World War II, but Austria probably a little bit more. So.
took a while to come back. And then this is a French NBA fun fact. In 2024, Zachary, what was his name? Worcestershire sauce. And Alex Sarr went back to back. It was also the second straight season that a French player went number 1 overall. And then Dejean Saloon, I don't know, was selected 6th by the Hornets, making it the first time in NBA history that a non-U.S. country produced 3 top 10 picks. So,
Wow.
Shout out France. Just happened.
10 years from now, my list is going to be way different.
yeah, it will.
You'd hope so. If
said
somebody
5 years,
made
3 years from
the
now.
list in 1.5 seasons, then
Yeah, I think 5 years now that will be a completely different list. I think Tony Parker will still be there.
he'll be there. But
Probably.
if Jan's on your offensive list, then I mean, I guess he wasn't much of a rim defender either. He was the end of the possession. I remember that.
Love some Jan Mahemny.
And he played for your Wizards too, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
That was when we
He
couldn't.
got that Moscow.
Yeah,
player
we couldn't
like
afford him
Wizards.
anymore. So
How do you guys feel about the Pacers? I'm excited to see if there's any, what PR they come out of here with, what
Yeah.
team trips they do. I was talking with Jill about it. I think they're going to do okay because Pascal is Cameroonian, so I imagine he speaks French.
I assume he speaks French as well.
Matherin's from Montreal. I assume he speaks French.
Okay.
Nemhard is Canadian, so he probably took French in school and probably absorbed some of it.
Okay.
And who was the other? Oh, Tyrese was in France over the summer, so maybe he knows.
Oh, good
some
call.
names.
Yeah. Well, he at least knows
Tips and
some of
phrases.
the cool bars to hang out in.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it's not like he was playing during the Olympics. Hey.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much time he actually spent in Paris specifically.
Sure.
So.
Okay.
There was one other guy.
But I mean, yeah, I feel like they know they'll probably also bring translators to help them ask where the bathroom is. I would assume.
Probably.
Yeah. This is exciting. This is fun. I think international travel, it's got to be good for team chemistry. And they're over there for a while, right? I mean, a week.
Yep.
So
I think the last game I remember, regular season game I remember, they had done overseas. I feel like they were in London, and they just got. I think if they played the Nuggets, and they just got absolutely smashed.
yeah, I think we lost by like 50 or something.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember that. Crazy.
But wasn't that the beginning of the end of that team? Maybe this. Maybe this will be the beginning of the end of the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, I thought you were going to say us.
No.
Wait, the beginning of the end of the Spurs. Like,
I mean, we're gonna.
you know how they got
They're gonna be
you know
run
how they
out
got
on a rail.
Wembanyama.
No, I think they're gonna be so embarrassed by how we beat them.
2017, the Pacers lost 140 to 112 against the Denver Nuggets.
Okay. Yeah, I just remember I had tuned in from work and then decided that it wasn't even worth that anymore because it was so bad so early that I was just going to just get back to my job.
Were you trying to listen to the announcers when they were speaking English?
Yeah. They were English. I basically followed along with almost everything,
Except when they started talking about boots and lose.
Yeah. Boots and...
Kevin Serafin was on that team. Interesting.
he probably kept talking about the Chunnel the whole time. You guys ready to talk about the first half of the season?
Heck yeah.
We're past the midway points, and I think we're to the point where nothing's set in stone, but we've got a good idea of what we have as an organization now, and I think it's changed a fair amount over the last month from what we had at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the year, we were inconsistent. We I mean, Halliburton wasn't who he was the previous season, and we had some pretty rough injuries, and those have not gone away. We've lost Wiseman and Isaiah Jackson for the season. So, but I think now we've got Neesmith and Nemhard have rejoined the team. Hopefully, knock on wood, everyone stays healthy from here. This should be the squad we go to battle with for the rest of the year. And those previously mentioned guys, they're not going to be back from what happened to them. So we've got, our team is on the floor. We were talking last episode. We've got a lot of guys that really deserve playing time and have done very well. Maybe more than can be filled up by, the number of minutes available. But we feel like we're in a good spot, and I want to dig into. We'll do our mid-season awards for the Pacers, and we got a bunch of these here. So let's start first. I want to start with the defensive Pacer of the mid-year. I guess, of course, our standout is Miles Turner. He blocks the shots. But we've got again, knock on wood, we've got a pretty reasonable defense right now. And it's not just Miles Turner. Jason, who else deserves some discussion for a Pacer defensively?
Well, it's a good point, because it's a team effort on defense. I think it's clearly the guy that gets the credit for the turnaround is Andrew Nemhard. He brings a energy and enthusiasm to that side of the floor that other guys in the starting lineup don't. But I think in general, maybe it's Jenny Busek is the defensive player of the year, Pacer of the year, for getting that team, since that mid-December mark that we talked about in the last show, playing just much more active at some level. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I think I'm giving this to Jarris Walker. I've just really liked watching him play. I know he's still an unfinished product, and I know that he's going to get better as he, gets more acclimated to the league. But I love watching him play. I like his active hands. He stays in front of guys. I think he's been, he's earned those minutes on that bench, as just a second year guy, because he plays tough defense.
Any votes for Miles Turner himself?
Maybe a TJ McConnell for all his steals.
Sounds like no. He had another one. Was against Philly.
Yeah,
where
he had two in a row.
Well, there's a one where he didn't even touch the ball. I don't think he had pressured the guy that got the ball inbounded to pass it back to the inbound guy who was still out of bounds.
Oh.
And so we got the ball anyway.
That's awesome. There was in the Philly game he had one where he basically stole the ball, but then he knocked it out of bounds. So Philly retained possession. But then on the very next inbound attempt, he stole the ball and then knocked it out of their guy.
Well, talking about these guys, sixth man of the year. You've got your TJ McConnells. You've got your Jarris Walkers. We've got an unfinished starting lineup, so it's unclear. I don't think we can consider Mathurin for this award at this point because he's started most of the season. Neesmith hasn't played enough. Nemhard probably hasn't played enough. we don't have any regulations or rules around number of games played, but I don't think it's any of those guys. Colson, who do you think is the sixth man of the year?
I mean, our two most consistent players all season long have been T.J. McConnell and Obi Toppin. I'm not going to cop out and have them share this award, even though they're both giving you about 10 points in about 20 minutes. But I think it's McConnell. I can't get enough of this kid. You know, he's quickly moving up my top 25 pacers of all time. I think he's been here long enough now, and he just does exactly what you want. He gives maximum effort every minute on the floor, and he's a fan favorite, and he should be, because that's what you want out of the guys that suit up for your team. I absolutely love him. He should be in the running for sixth man of the year in the NBA.
Every year he should be. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Obi. I think he's been super consistent, and the numbers don't exactly reflect, I think, how important he's been in games. But his ability to just get highlight plays and get the crowd involved is unmatched, I guess. I was surprised. I'm looking at the number of dunks. He's only 3 ahead of Miles Turner. So, but in like half.
Right, I was gonna say yeah, but he doesn't play even close to as many minutes.
Yeah. I also want to give a shout out to Thomas Bryant, who I think has really filled a hole in that backup center position that sort of freed things up actually for Obi to play his natural 4 position. And has been very active and very apparently vocal in the locker room and in huddles, and has been a big part of the turnaround that this team has undergone this season. But I think it's McConnell for sixth man at this point.
I'm going to go ahead and just say that Thomas Bryant is Rookie of the Year, though, right? I mean, he's demanding that we box out and that we rebound. And that makes a big difference. This kid was pretty much given to us. And he's been so important to what this team is doing. Yeah.
I mean, it's him or Johnny Furphy or Enrique Freeman. Like, that's his competition for Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and give it to Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, because all the other guys have been... We didn't have much turnover, you know. Right. So we do have a good number of the guys from last season back. So yeah, we picked him up because we needed him because of injury, and this is best case scenario. He's been great. So we'll give him Pacer Rookie of the Year. What about Most Improved Pacer?
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I think Siakam is just super... I don't know if that he's improved a whole lot, but he's just kind of been what he's been in a good way. But I don't know if it's him because of that. I think that there's a case for Mathurin, who I think last season was... Well, he was injured last year. But then this year, I think that there's a good case because he's... I mean, it's tough to keep him out of the starting lineup. I don't know. I think he's probably my guy. Nembhard's been great, but again, he's missed a good amount of time.
I mean, what's your cutoff? He's got 28 games.
29.
So Shepherd makes the cut with 29 games. Mm-hmm. I think Mathurin's a great pick. I see what you're saying about Siakam. He fits better than he did last year. He's more comfortable with the team. If you need a bucket, he gets you one. So, and he does seem to, be the one demanding defense. But he was doing that for us a little bit last year. I do think not because Mathurin missed so much time last season, but because he has taken such a leap. And it's not just been with playing time. I think he's making better decisions. He's playing tougher defense. He's passing the ball. His rookie year, basically, we just gave him the ball on the bench because there was nobody else to score, and he went to the basket. Now he's asked to do so many things as the essentially fourth scorer in that starting lineup, and he's looked fantastic doing it. So I think Matherin's the right choice there, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to give a shout out to, it's kind of like how you think about this award, right? Is it, the young guys getting better? So I think Matherin definitely has a case there, and Jarris Walker, was basically playing nothing at all to, like, now he's clearly, I think, going to be a legit NBA player. But I want to give a shout out to Miles Turner in this category.
Oh, sure.
I feel like his numbers overall aren't going to blow you away. It's not like he's grabbing a whole bunch more rebounds. He's actually scoring less. But I feel like his effectiveness is a lot better. Like his poise on the court. Like he's making plays at the right time. He's going after rebounds that he didn't used to go after. And his three-point shooting is phenomenal. So he's taking one more three a game now. So he takes 5 threes a game, and he's shooting at a 40% clip, which he was shooting only 36%. I say only, but no, it's still pretty good. 36% from three last year. And I think that's just, it makes such a difference. Like that game against Detroit, like, who just abused Jalen Duren because he didn't want to come out of the lane. And so Turner was like, okay, I'll turn into Steph Curry, no problem. And like, that's such a nice, he's really come into his own, I would say, I guess, in that position.
Shout
No,
out.
that's a very good point. Very good point. We could talk, Jason, you mentioned we talked Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Think so. Of course, Carlisle is the number one coach. Jenny Bushek seems to have this team doing things it wasn't doing too long ago. Is that your pick for the coach, or do we go to the big guy?
That's a good question. Yeah, I need more insight into who orchestrated the practices that happened between December 8th and December 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Because before that, it was a different team, and after that, it's the team that we see now. And whoever architected that is the coach of the year for me. Which I think it's Carlisle. But I don't know. It's collaborative for sure, but
Sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's night and day. I was so excited when we hired Carlisle because I was like, well, this is a guy you can have on the team for 15 years. He's such a smart coach, and he's gonna build the right kind of teams, and they're gonna play the right kind of way. And start of the season, I was like, what is happening? This team is giving zero effort on the defensive end, and all of the precision we had from last year on the offensive end with not turning the ball over and stuff had gone away too. We were just a sloppy basketball team that wasn't taking care of the ball or the defensive side or the rebounding side. And I went, man, has he just totally lost touch with this team or with basketball in general? And then, he knows how to play the long game, right? I'm sure there were fiery speeches he wanted to give early on or tweaks he wanted to make or whatever, and he stayed patient. And this team feels like a legitimate team, that can do some damage in the playoffs, that plays hard, and is young and can sustain this for a long time. That's what it feels like. And sometimes the best work you do is by not panicking when things are going poorly. And if he didn't panic, or maybe we should give this to Pritchard for not panicking. Can he get Coach of the Year?
Sure. Yeah.
Nobody was traded away. Nobody was fired. We just stayed the course, and it's really been paying off.
I think that's one thing that I want is that sustainability for, Cleveland's got their ethical basketball, but I think we want to have sustainable basketball here in Indiana. We do grow it here.
That's right.
But, yeah, I don't want this to be...
At that.
Organically, of course. But I do want this to be a long-term thing, not just, hey, we're going to make a run to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that be it. I want this to be a long-term thing with good foundation, from, top to bottom. So, having that from Carlisle and Co., I think is going to be, key to building, I always look to the Spurs, what do the Spurs do? And they're, as soon as they have the talent, they're going to be in position to do something good. They know how to run an organization there. And I think that, we need to be in the same class. Last one, most valuable Pacer. I'll just get this out of the way. I've been accused of waffling. I think for me, as Halliburton has gone, the team has gone. So I think it's his. And he was not playing at his peak at the beginning of the season, and we were not winning basketball games. And even now, seems to still be struggling with that hamstring injury. But we're much better. He's much better. We're much better. And I think without him, we're a very good team. But with him, we're the team that we're here to see. The team who's going to go deep into the playoffs. So that's my guy.
I agree with all of that rationale. So from the valuable side of things, I believe that exactly Tyrese is the most valuable. But if you went by the guy that's having the best season and been the most consistent, it's Pascal Siakam.
Sure.
Without a doubt. He's played in every game and he's so consistent. You look at his game log and it's somewhere between 17 and 25 points almost every game. And there's very little fluctuation there. And yeah, I'm just so excited to have this guy on the team. And he seems like he's a real leader and that the guys are responding to him. So, yeah, he gets my vote right now.
Yeah, this is easy for me. It's Andrew Nembhard. He's the one. He's proved it this year, right? He was out injured, and we were not a good basketball team. You said there was that 4-day break, when we had time to practice and figure out we need to play defense and whatnot. That coincides with Nembhard's return to health and full minutes. He plays defense. He's fearless on the offensive end. And secondary ball handler, but not just a ball handler, secondary visionary passer. He's a very good point guard. And we're playing him at 2. And, when he got signed in the offseason to a 4-year deal, we were putting our money where our mouth was. We were like, this is a second-round pick. We're going to keep him around. We're going to pay him like a starter. And I thought, well, this is weird because Mathurin should be the starting 2 guard next year. But there's something that really, whatever it is, whether it's chemistry or whether it's just his presence on the floor, without him, we're not as good a team. And you can draw a straight line between his return and our good play.
Yeah, he's got the best on-court plus-minus per 100 possessions at 8 on the team. And his on-off, so if you compare how the team does when he's on the floor versus when he's off the floor, is 12.2, which is the best on the team, next to Siakam.
I like it when stats back up the eye test.
Yep.
So, unanimous indecision is what I'm getting. I think those are all 3 good points. I think mine was a little bit more convincing, but
Sure.
you two also had very, very understandable. It is about definition. How do you define what these mean? You know, and they're. And I think all those things that we said are true. You know, as Nemhard returned to health, and Siakam does his thing every night, and you know, as Halliburton has played well. You know, we've turned this team around.
Right. Well,
From, you know, the part that we play here, we have our part, right?
I'm glad they started listening.
Well, there's one more category that you guys actually weren't aware of, but this is most valuable podcaster, and it was Harper won it this year. That's why he got the day off.
That's right. Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah,
It was a unanimous vote.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, and he's lying in a bed of silken linen
Yeah.
and jade, probably framed by jade. But yeah, the season is underfoot, and we're moving along. Team is much better, and this has been fun. You know, we have a lot of good things to say about a lot of these guys. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about anybody. That's not true. We have something good to say about everybody. You know, Miles Turner. And I feel like we mentioned some of these guys, and we know we don't. And we say, oh, I haven't said much about this guy, and he's amazing. Like Miles Turner, we didn't say a whole lot about this guy, and he, for the most part, is pretty consistent, and he blows up. You know, he's been, I think, consistency has been something he's improved as his career has gone on, but he's also versatile in that he can torch you for 8 3-pointers, but he also, if that's not needed. He also is a phenomenal defender. He knows how to run an offense. He knows how to run a defense. You know, he knows what to be, where to be. He's a veteran, you know, and you know, he's one of those guys that he's so consistent that I don't think we talk about him enough. But you know, he gets under the radar, a fair amount of the times because he's great, but he's often not the headliner of the game.
Yeah, you're right, though. You do get a sense that he's more comfortable in his own skin, maybe, than he has been in years past. He kind of knows his role and what he's supposed to be doing and what he brings to the team, and he's been doing that consistently. So it's nice to have him just there, you know, night in and night out.
Also, speaking of Miles Turner, Jason, Aaron had sent this in... I don't know if she texted or she put it on Slack, but there was a newborn baby in Indianapolis named Miles Lawrence Turner, who I think the fan has the same last name already by chance, and then they named their son Miles. So the name is Miles Turner.
It's pretty cool.
So Miles Turner didn't have a baby. It was just somebody else had a baby named Miles Turner.
That's correct. But they're also big fans of Miles
Yeah, they
Turner.
named him specifically after
Oh, gotcha.
Miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Well,
all those Indiana
Mazel
babies
tov.
named Reggie and Jalen. Now we're
Yeah.
gonna have a spat of Mileses.
Tyrese's.
Turner said, when I first got here, I think someone named a pig after me. That's a major upgrade. Shout out. Having a pig named after you is nice, but having a real baby is a little bit better. Right, team? Colson, what you got?
No, I don't know why this made me think of a joke, but wait till later.
Okay. When we're off the air?
No, I'll tell it.
Is it that kind of joke?
So, so I was bartending. This was actually during the playoffs last year. It was Pacers Knicks, and a guy brought in a monkey, and the monkey was wearing a Knicks jersey, and I was like, "You can't bring a monkey into the bar." He's like, "Look, it's a big game. It's a really important game. Can he just hang out? He loves the Knicks." And I was like, "All right, whatever." And of course, the Knicks won that game, and Monkey's like super excited, does a little dance, goes around and high fives everybody at the bar, and I was like, that's really incredible. You know, he goes, yeah, he does that every time the Knicks beat the Pacers. I said, cool. What does he do when Knicks beat the Pacers in a playoff series? And he goes, I don't know. I've only had him for 25 years.
Nice.
Screw those guys. Rivalry my ass. Just domination.
I think that wraps it up for this show. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us. Very much appreciate it. You can keep in touch with us on Twitter. We are at Undebeatables. We're on Facebook.com/TheUndebeatables. TheUndebeatables.com is our website, and there's a contact form there. Email is shoutout@TheUndebeatables.com, and the website /store is where our merch is.
For the architect, Donnie Walsh, and our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Sicklinard. Turn out the lights, the party's over. I was supposed to do it in French, wasn't I? Turn out the lights, the party's over. Ha ha ha.
They're not playing in Moscow.
Oh,
they're
they're
playing in
Ferme
Paris.
la bouche.
I think you guys always said my my Jan Mahimni sounded like I swallowed a frog. I think is.
What was the thing from the Pacers read a book? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Could you knit a sweater for a moose?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I've got that. I need to do something with that. That was good. That was gold.
None of those guys are still on the team.
No. Well, it was a long time
That was
ago.
a long time ago. That was 12 years ago, I think.
Yeah, probably.